Hey, hi folks. I think this is one of the most important videos that I'm recording. It basically talks the history of how the applications in GTM came to be and where the AI-led market is moving in the go-to-market tech stack. It all started, where is the genesis, right? It all started largely with Salesforce coming in and saying to the market, here is a CRM problem, and then it evolved around it. And of course, once Salesforce placed itself and then opened up a marketplace, it basically introduced and paved the way for multiple applications to come work together, right? So you had different application for different things. You had Salesforce for CRM, there was HubSpot as other CRM, or use HubSpot for marketing automation, comes Clary, Gong, Drift, 6sense, ZoomInfo, Outreach, Tableau, multiple applications. This list is not limited. So your usual sales rep navigated through each of these screens to get stuff done. Of course, in an ideal world, your ops team would like all the data coming back to Salesforce. The reality is that it is hardly possible to get everything onto Salesforce. So the data continued to be on silos for parts of it, and largely you tried pushing it to Salesforce. That also was the phase where Salesforce became infamously called as Snailsforce. With its lightning launch, with the amount of data that was coming on board these systems, what ended up happening is Salesforce's page load times became very, very poor. And of course, all these solutions had bits of data. Probably they wouldn't be comfortable sharing all of it out in Salesforce owing to their product adoption. So the reality was reps continued to use different application, and with that came the context switch cost. What it really means is that when you move from one screen to another screen, there is a context switch. Your rep's brain has to rewire, adjust to the new application, new buttons, where to go, do what, where to figure, fetch what, right? And it has a cost associated with it. So the fact of the matter is when Salesforce came, the productivity started going up. Each of these applications in fact started out like that. They all said the productivity is bad, we're going to do XYZ, it's going to get better. In essence, the principle was salespeople don't spend too much time doing selling, they end up doing a lot of administrative juggling. We're going to take off that, make them better people. And the go-to-market positioning was this. This was the pitch. And yes, it did start helping. The amount of productivity the reps saw was amazing. Until the bell curve of performance kicked in. There's a saturation point beyond which if you add new applications to your users, their productivity goes down, right? First came Salesforce, ZoomInfo, Gong, Clary, blah, blah, blah. All of them sat here and the productivity went through the roofs. And now the market's so flush with so many applications, adding any new tool, it only brings your reps productivity down. And there's a cost of context switching. Every time your rep switches from one screen to another, up to 40% of their productivity in fact goes down. There is in fact behavioral study done by Catalog and Cornell University's Idea Lab, which says every time you move from doing one thing to another thing digitally, your reps in fact lose 9.5 minutes to get back to what they were trying to originally do. Let's say I'm trying to create a report on Salesforce to see what my conversions from MQL to pipe is. And then I have to figure, hey, there were some degree of campaign data, there was some degree of sales campaigns run out of outreach, and I have to go figure at what step did they convert. And I switch back to outreach for part of that data. For me to get back to originally what I was doing on Salesforce, my brain will require 9.5 minutes. Irrespective, even if I came 2 minutes later from outreach with that data, for me to really go back to the momentum I had built up, it takes an average of 9.5 minutes. Imagine at this scale, at the number of reps, the amount of unproductivity this brings to your teams, and it's just mind-blowing. And that's why adding any new application, the context cost, switch cost is high, and it will only bring down the productivity, right? Eventually, it all falls back to human-system interactions, the branch of science which decides, right, how humans behave with systems, right? It all comes down. This is all part of that science. Also, here is a fun fact, right? This is a study, I'm going to link all the sources. A 2024 study, right, basically says that companies with fewer than 50 employees, they're using 16 SaaS applications on average. And anywhere between 50 to 99, they're using 24, 100 to 499, 48, and over 1,000 employees, they're using 177 SaaS-based products. It might sound absurd, unbelievable, but having seen some of this myself firsthand, I can assure you it is largely true. And now imagine the amount of applications and the context switch cost and the amount of unproductivity you're bringing to the teams. So where are we heading, right? This was where it all started. We do see this immense dramatic issue happening already. So where are we heading? We're basically going to this moment now. This is the present. Now everyone's with the wave of Gen AI, everyone's introducing a chatbot. There's Salesforce, HubSpot, Clarity would want one, Gong would want one, Outreach would want one. They're all introducing. There's also the phase where chatbots are hallucinating, they're giving incorrect answers. Maybe you ask Salesforce, what's my pipe coverage for next quarter? Maybe the Salesforce's data is different from Clarice's data. This is also the time where sales reps have immense trouble selling, because at this point, your prospect probably questions you, how is your AI better than, say, Apollo's AI? How is it better than Clary's AI? And it's a rabbit hole to go down into. If you start talking technical, your prospect snaps out of it. So how do you sell? That's a problem statement reps are feeling, reps are figuring. But this is where we're currently, everyone's coming with their own chatbots. Does this really solve from where we really came, the context switch? I don't think so, right? You now have equal number of chatbots coming in. It still doesn't solve the problem. Plus there is immense context, right? For you to really answer how many activities at what step of outreach cadence converts for me. Let me rephrase this question. Let's say you're trying to answer what kind of MQLs convert into pipeline and what kind of activities does it take? At what step of the outreach cadence does it convert? And what is the firmographic data from ZoomInfo for that? If you phrase this question, you're really trying to get data from multiple systems. And chatbots today cannot handle that. We're still evolving and evolving fast. But this one still is a massive issue. You can't expect each of your reps to use Salesforce chatbot for one thing, ZoomInfo's for other, Clary's for another. So where are we heading? In my opinion, we basically will head towards one interface to rule them all, right? There is going to be one single chatbot that's going to fetch data from every singular system. And this is the interface where everyone will ask, right? Your RevOps will ask the same chatbot, your sales reps will ask the same chatbot, right? In an ideal world, right? A sales rep should not really have to go to sales ops to ask a lot of basic questions about data. It should be self-served, but we're still not there. Let's say if a sales rep has to ask, right? Based on what's my pipe coverage for next quarter, will I hit my quota? Based on that, what is the amount of commissions will I make? That's a question no system can answer today. It befalls sales ops to answer, fetch from multiple systems and get their data. Now imagine a system like this is integrated to your commission app, to your Salesforce, your Clary, multiple systems, and he's able to come back, right? Your rep basically would ask this one single chatbot, this simple question, tell me what my pipe coverage for the next quarter looks like. Based on that, what is the kind of commissions will I make? What if I sold 2 deals in the last 2 weeks? Will any spiffs or accelerators kick in? You see, that's a complicated question, but this chatbot is gonna go fetch through multiple systems and probably answer back, hey, you know what? Your pipe coverage looks solid. It is great. You're at 3.5x of the pipeline. That's your coverage. And based on this question that you asked, if you close 2 more deals in the last week, yes, there are accelerators, and hence you will end up making $15,000, $20,000. That's a phenomenal answer to give. Maybe your RevOps can come back and ask, your sales ops can come back and ask, right? Very complicated question. Hey, what's my conversion from MQL to onboarding? Give me the entire conversion through the funnel for LATAM enterprise business. The system will go fetch through multiple places to get this, right? The onboarding data is on the CS side of the MQL data is on the marketing side of things. The entire closure is on the sales side of things. It is fetching from multiple places. So yes, I think the future is one chatbot to rule them all. All these interfaces, I speak to multiple founders, anyone who's building, I keep telling them, right? Interface has to move back. All these systems have to move back into the shadows. Reps are at the end of the day people. People would not like to go to 10 different places to fetch information. They would not like to go to ask 10 different chatbots to get their information. They would like one interface. They don't care where is the information fetched from.
this is where RevOps and other operations teams will have to really configure, sit for the hallucinating data, go validate. This is the next phase of RevOps, in fact, right? So I think, yes, that's the future we are heading to, and I hope this was meaningful. Thank you so much. If you have any suggestions, questions, ideas, drop them in the comments. Thank you so much.